Snacks were on the coffee table, a bottle of champagne chilled in an ice bucket. Next to 2 champagne glasses I was dressed in beige-colored slacks, a matching short-sleeved shirt and loafers. My wife was dressed as instructed by her new boss Mr. Kingley, as something between a cosplay prostitute and an anime character. Emily, my wife, wrinkled her nose, then smirked and said, "Nick, that's what he wanted." Before I could say anything there was a contentiously loud knock on the door 3 times. "That must be him. You'd better open the door for him." Emily looked down. "From what I've heard, he doesn't like to be kept waiting." I walked into the lobby of our apartment, opened the door and came face to face with a large man who was well dressed and obviously trained. He looked good, but just one look at his face showed the damage that excesses of any kind could do, including eating, drinking, and acidic lifestyle in general. If I didn't already know so much about Barthold Kingley, his face would have been enough to hate him. In that respect, his face was just icing on the cake. I did my best to speak to him in a muted, respectful tone. "Oh, you must be my wife's new boss, Mr. Kingy. Come in, it's just as you said, all prepared." He didn't say anything, but he smirked at me. "Oh well, I'll live." The question was, would he? Emily sat on the couch, her plump hips accentuated very effectively by the very short skirt he'd bought for her and given her earlier that day at their employer's office. Kingley sat down beside her, put his arm around her shoulders in a very possessive and familial manner, and said, "Cook, sit in front of us in this chair." I did so. I hope the expression of shyness I had put on had worked good. "I guess it did. This is what's going to happen, Cook. I find your wife very attractive. That's why I gave her a job as my new assistant." He laughed at his joke. "I'm going to sleep with her morning, noon, and night, and since you're going to be my cuckold, there's nothing you can do about it. Do you understand?" I nodded. "How will that affect me, Mr. Kingley?" He smirked. "You won't have sex with your wife?" I nodded. I looked upset. Apparently I looked upset enough, and he smirked again. He reached up and grabbed Emily's neck and leaned in for a kiss. He cried out in pain and slapped her face, jumping to his feet. "You underscore 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 underscore, what did you do to me?" I deftly and quickly grabbed my gun and pointed it at him, standing up. "Underscore underscore, you're going to get away from my wife right now." "What the underscore underscore? She stabbed me," he exclaimed. "And why are you pointing a gun at me? I'll kill you both. It's a silent gun and it will kill you, but more silently than most other guns." He moved away from Emily and I noticed a blood stain on his right side. "Yeah, she really did stab you. She used an ice pick, not the mountaineering ice pick used to kill Trotsky, but a modified bartender's ice pick." He was yelling. "I don't give a underscore 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 about underscore underscore history lessons. I'm going to call the police on you two lunatics." I shook my head. "Actually no one's going to call the police. You see, my wife's name isn't really Ashley Jones, and she's not really a secretary. We're an assassination team, husband and wife, and we've been given the contract to kill you." His face turned pale. "But why? What have I ever done to you?" I shrugged my shoulders. "Nothing, but that's not the point. We were hired to kill you because of something you did to someone else." While this was going on, Emily tied his hands with plastic police-style ties. "Who? Why do they want me dead?" Emily spoke up. "Do you remember the job you got as manager at Cranbrooks a few years ago? You pulled your cuckold stunt there too. But the girl you targeted, Liz Foster, felt so guilty about helping you turn her husband Tim into a cuckold that she had a nervous breakdown and killed herself, leaving Tim to look after their 3 children, all under the age of 5. But I never forced her to do that." "And why does Tim want me killed?" I intervened. "Tim has nothing to do with this. Liz's father is a rich man and he hired us to kill you for what you did to his daughter, son-in-law and grandchildren." He began to sweat profusely. His fear made the room smell horrible. "I am rich. I will pay you not to kill me. I have a wife and children. Don't do this. This is not how we work. We have to finish our work. If we take your money and let you live, we'll get killed." Murder Incorporated didn't die out in the 1940s. It regrouped and still operates in the US to this day and overseas for the right money. "Besides, Liz and Tim have kids, but you didn't give a underscore underscore about them, did you?" With Emily's help I gagged him and we managed to sneak him down the stairs to our car. We had taken the precaution of renting a suitable apartment. He tried to resist, but after exhausting him we were able to get him into the trunk of our car. Without further difficulty we drove to a prearranged place outside of town and I opened the trunk. It was soiled, so the stench was not pleasant. You want to make peace with your God? Hey, I'm a psychopath, but I'm not a monster, okay? He said something offensive and I shot him in the heart. I checked for a pulse and closed the trunk. Again Emily pulled out her phone and sent a text message to the cleanup crew. That should come and deal with the car and the corpse. Everyone has their own specialized functions. We did ours. They'll do theirs. We stashed the motorcycle we used to get home nearby. Well, to what was our home for this operation? Apparently the police were interested in the untraceable disappearance of the newly appointed manager. They asked his colleagues what they thought of him. His newly appointed secretary Ashley Jones shrugged and told police, I'm not quite sure. He was like a lot of the sales managers I've met over the years, a bit pompous and very arrogant. When they investigated him a little deeper, they discovered that although he had only been here a couple months, he had already devised several ways to deceive his new employer, and that the wife and children back east that he said would join him didn't exist. In fact, several years ago his ex-wife had obtained a restraining order prohibiting him from even having contact with her and the children. We cleaned the apartment while waiting for the forensics to visit, and 2 months later, Ashley Jones gave us 2 weeks' notice because her husband had gotten a new job in Florida and we terminated the lease. The truth was that we had had a new contract in California. It was cool because we both love California. In addition to killing for good pay, we surfed, hiked, and visited art galleries and museums. Well, even assassins enjoy many of the nice things in life.